Stop the press. The Hardy Boyz are reuniting. We have an update on a major WrestleMania matchup, and the Briscoes have commented on a potential WWE run. Find out what they said in a little tickle. Dun, 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 dun. I've been watching TikTok this week,
Throw
Sam.
your back out.
I've been watching TikTok this week, Sam, and I've seen the TikTok where someone's like, oh, well, you don't have a towel in the bathroom, you need to dry your hands like Jeff Hardy, and then Jeff Hardy's still outside the bathroom. It's fantastic. But that's not all that Jeff Hardy has been getting up to, because he's been sorting out some professional wrestling appearances, because for the first time in 3 years, this upcoming March, in a couple of months' time, the Hardy Boyz, Matt and Jeff, will reunite in big-time wrestling.
Yeah,
Whoa.
the promotion have announced that Matt and Jeff will be tagging on their March 12th show in Webster, Massachusetts, and the announcement graphic notes it'll be part of the Hardy Boyz 2022 tour. Their opponents have not been named yet, but the fact that we're getting a Hardy Boyz tour dictates that we're going to see a lot more of Matt and Jeff working together in the near future. I imagine there's a lot of stuff they probably want to revisit from the Broken Universe, as well as more general Hardy Boyz tagging together. So I'm just sort of cautiously waiting for Jeff to turn up in AEW, as I'm sure many other people are. But I'm just happy to see that they're back tagging and that people are going to get out there and have the chance to see them tag, because they're such an important tag team to many of us, right?
Yeah, definitely. Of course, it's been a whirlwind for a few months for Jeff Hardy, who was released from his WWE contract back at the start of December, when after a house show on December the 4th, he was seen walking away, and then sort of all sorts of things happened backstage, and then he was released. And it seems to be that he's doing well. I've seen a couple of performances he's done with his band, Pyrox Y Gen question mark.
Pyrox Y Gen, yes.
Yes, he's been singing his No More Words theme and stuff. I've seen that on social media. What a set of pipes he has. But now it looks like Jeff Hardy is gearing up and getting ready to return to professional wrestling. As you say there, Sam, it was interesting to see Matt Hardy drop a couple of little references on his Twitch streams and whatnot. He started using Delete a bit more on AEW programming, so maybe we're hinting at maybe the Broken Universe becoming a thing once again, which will be exciting to see.
I think it's just a matter of time for that, really, isn't it?
Yeah. And now we have an update on a major WrestleMania match heading in to this year's WrestleMania, which is WrestleMania 38. My God. My God in heaven.
It feels like yesterday we were at 32.
Yeah, I was about to say it was WrestleMania 32. Yeah? Yesterday, wasn't it? But of course, all the rumor.
6 years ago.
All the
6
rumor.
years.
We're close to death, Sam. Just face it. All the rumor and innuendo, and maybe certain happenings on WWE TV, has been pointing towards a champion versus champion match happening at the grandest stage of them all, between WWE champion Brock Lesnar and Universal champion Roman Reigns. But apparently, according to Dave Meltzer, this is not the case. Now, Sam, we have a big long quote there from Dave Meltzer.
Is it my duty?
It's early on a Wednesday morning, so if you can't deal with it,
I've had a mouthful of coffee. Let's go.
Here we go.
This isn't going to make any sense probably, but here we go. I was told no, that they did it just because those two guys had the belt at the time. So it made sense to do it at the time. But at the time, that was not the direction that they were planning on. Lesnar and Reigns are going to have a match. I think we'll have a lot better idea of what's going to happen after the Royal Rumble. But if Seth wins and then Lesnar's wrestling Roman, I would presume Roman beats him to win a belt back, because Lesnar's not going to be around long term and Roman will be around every week. And then Rollins, I don't know what their plans are as far as how long he would go long term. They could have Big E beat him, or they could just keep Seth going. They could have Lashley or Kevin Owens. I mean, there's a lot of different ways they can go. There's infinite ways, Dave. Thanks for clearing that up. But there's an interesting dynamic, though, in the idea of Lesnar, Rollins, and Reigns, because obviously the iconic WrestleMania 31, heist of the century moment, you could lean back into that. There's a lot they could be doing here. But at the same time, I know Roman's probably going to have to drop the belt and then get it back. But at the same time, I feel that cheapens our tribal chief.
Yeah. No, Sam, I'm fully on board, Sam. I think Roman Reigns should hold the Universal title until someone new, like Braun Breaker or someone like that, is ready to come up the main roster, smash him, pack him, pancake him.
He should beat The Rock. He should hold that belt until there's literally nobody left, and then you make a new star, right?
Yeah. But we were saying this just ahead of the Undertaker streak ending, weren't we? That somebody who needs the rub should defeat the Undertaker at WrestleMania and get the.
And thankfully, that's exactly what.
So I mentioned that because it could be history repeating itself, with Roman Reigns, of course, breaking all kinds of records as Universal Champion. I think he broke Brock Lesnar's 503-day record last weekend. Him holding that title for the longest time. Someone who needs the rub on that main event scene, potentially getting the biggest win of their life against the Tribal Chief. But no, maybe Brock Lesnar will get it. But we'll have to wait and see. It's clear from that quote there that Dave Meltzer hasn't got a clue what's going on. We have news from the Briscoe Brothers, who, of course, appear to be working all kinds of angles on the social medias to get a match with FTR. That'll be fantastic for all to see. But they have also been commenting on potential rumours of them going to WWE. They've both appeared on Busted Open Radio, and they both had things to say, kicking things off, Sam, with Jay. Do you want to have a game of quote tennis?
I was going to say, do you want to be Jay or do you want me to be Jay?
I'll be Jay.
You be Jay, I'll be Mark.
I think we would definitely survive. I'm not going to do that. I think we would definitely survive in WWE, he said, because at the end of the day, you've got to get in that ring and ring the bell. Yeah, you've got to do the wrestling, he said, yeah.
I think that we would survive and thrive. Vince McMahon likes money, and shoot, when we get in between those ropes, that's what we're going to do. We're going to make your company money. I think that's the bottom line. Not trying to sound cocky or anything.
Yeah, when people are sitting around and you've got a wrestling fan that has wrestling on TV and he has friends over and they're not wrestling fans, what are you going to show them to get them into becoming wrestling fans? You can't be showing them this clown SHIT man, not an SHIT man, SHIT comma man as an emphasis. You've got to show them something they can get their teeth into, some real SHIT.
And professional wrestling, as we all know, there's so many different flavors of professional wrestling, but you can't have certain flavors showcased for such a high percentage of time. You've got to have a fight. That's what wrestling is, a fight. That's got to be your staple. That's got to be your backbone. Your backbone can't be comedy or this or that and the other, and you've got to have your fighters out there. And all I can think about is how good would the Briscoes versus the Usos be?
Oh, it'd be absolutely fantastic. Not just the wrestling, but the promos as well.
For me, if I'm being honest, I can't see the Briscoes in WWE. And if I see the Briscoes in WWE, it would have very much been an NXT 1.0 thing, and it would have been great. But now, main roster WWE, I don't know if it would work. You know, I know they'd make the most out of it, but I'd give a body part maybe to watch Usos versus Briscoes.
Which one?
Left nut.
Whoa, that's the most important one. But I like their confidence and I like the belief in themselves. But how many tag teams have we? I'm just thinking off the top of my head there. Two big examples would be the Good Brothers and would be the Viking Raiders, War Machine. We've seen those go there, and they're fantastic tag teams in their own right from way back in the day.
It's just all of the joys sucked out of it.
Yeah, and they're just meant to do what WWE wants them to do, which of course isn't the most stuff, because Vince McMahon famously isn't a massive fan of tag team wrestling because he has to pay 4 wrestlers to do the job 2 wrestlers could do.
And he can't even pay him half the amount.
But we'll have to see what happens with the Briscoe Brothers. It's certainly interesting times with Ring of Honor and the situation revolving there. Certainly interesting times for those two going forward. Now we have news of a released WWE star who is set for a GCW show this weekend. And it's someone called Sam Mascara Dorada. Why might we know him?
Lucha. It's, of course, it's Grand Metalik. Grand Metalik making his appearance for GCW, as Ross said. So this is going to be his first post-WWE booking, and he's going to be starting at GCW in February. This includes the dates on the 4th in Houston, Atlantic City on the 19th, and February 26th in Los Angeles. Now, GCW owner Brett Lauderdale has referred to Dorada as his favorite wrestler in response to the tweet announcing his upcoming appearances. And he was, if there was somebody who was stifled by their place on the roster in WWE, I'd argue it was nearly every single member of Lucha House Party. But Grand Metalik or Mascara Dorada, the way that guy worked the ropes, it's stuff that, you know, the type of thing you see Rey Fenix do, where it's just crazy, like, how are you even doing this levels of stuff? And with GCW, I think it's a really nice fit. They've got that range of talent where, like, from entertainment to really, like, full-blown, focus on the performance aspect of the in-ring work. And I think he's somebody that fits that quite nicely.
And you think about, because this is one thing that took me by surprise a few years ago, not know much about New Japan Wrestling, as I don't. I'm fully transparent with that, professional wrestling fans. But the run he had in New Japan and just where he's been around the world, this is Grand Metalik was speaking about, Mascara Dorada. It's really weird to see what Dury did with him. Really weird.
it just kind of didn't really make any. It was like he's good, but we'll come up with something for him, and they just never did.
Yeah.
Weird.
Hopefully he'll do some stuff now, won't he? He's just absolutely fantastic.
Fingers
We all know
crossed.
that. Now we have some pretty sad news because Don West has shared another cancer update. He was in remission last year, but on social media yesterday, he just shared the news that it came back. It's just absolutely soul-destroyed, isn't it, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, Don West is somebody who is beloved within the wrestling industry, and obviously you don't want to see this happen to anybody, but everybody was so happy, and of course, you know, when Don announced that he was in remission, and it's just something that you'd never ever really want to see. So we send our best wishes out to Don West and his friends and family at this time. But he has a GoFundMe which is set up, and he took to Twitter in the post and said, "Unfortunately, my cancer is back and I'm undergoing chemo. Thanks to all that have contributed in the past, and if you'd like to donate, the GoFundMe page is Join the Don West Tag Team Against Lymphoma. God bless." Now, the fundraiser has so far raised over $25,000, and donations have come in from many people in the wrestling world, including Cody Rhodes, Max Caster, Matt Cardona, and Vince Russo.
Yeah, we'll get that linked in the description down below if you want to get involved. It just happened all so quick for Don because he was diagnosed with brain lymphoma in June of last year, I should say. He was in remission by September. Now here we are in January, and it's come back. And it's obviously, as Sam said earlier, best wishes from all of us here at Cultaholic Wrestling.
Yeah.
How Don!
Bit of
a bummer to end on today with that second news video, but there we go.
So we will possibly be back with a third news video in just a little bit. But until then, I've been Sam, he's been Ross. We'll see you soon.
I'm going to try and get this lighting sorted. It's still terrible.
You're very, very bright. You look like Sheamus during his entrance face. Like,
Hello!
yeah, that's what you should be doing.
I'll just take my shirt off, Salah.
Quickly dye your hair.
We'll see you later on.